All right, welcome everybody to the 2022 Bathurst 500, I believe, this year. Possibly the final Bathurst on Project Cars 2. Joining me in the commentary box today is Woody Lizard. I'm your commentator, Knight Pegasus. How you going, Woody? Yes. Yes. Yeah, there would be a couple of guys starting, I think, for the first time. And then there's a couple of old heads on there as well. But yeah, finishing off with tradition of the original Bathurst, hey, with the 500, well, not 500 miler, the 500 Ks. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be interesting to see who keeps their head for the first session. As we know in these long races, you can easily lose it in the first lap or two. And the deal is to get it through to the end of the session with a straight car, hand it over to your partner for the next one. Oh, here goes the engines. Lights are on. Away they go. Oh, Pigeon gets a bit taily off the start there. Highlander on the outside. Pigeon's squeezing him. Oh, they touch early on. A bit of neck code there. Do they get around turn one? Yeah, nice and safely around turn one. Pigeon, he ain't holding back. All to do here on the first lap. Let's hope Pigeon's internet holds out for him this session. Keep those guys in the race. Still trying to warm their tyres. Up to the, what's it called? The Haltech cutting. I keep getting it confused with the BP cutting. Haltech cutting. And they're all through there safely. Steve, at this point in the race, you just want to settle into your groove, make sure your temperatures are all right. Tyres are up to pressure. Don't want to push too hard, and you don't really want to go diving down the inside of anyone too early, as we saw in the live event down the end of the chase. Yeah. We don't need any. Anyway, we don't have to worry about Holdens today. Definitely not going to be a Holden win this final race at the mountain. Oh, yep. Sorry. I'm just going to, no, hold on. It might be me not including you in the, mute everyone, audio settings. I just got to make sure I got my options right. Yeah, looks like it is. Okay. So yeah, maybe need to try that. I just wanted to be sure that my my settings were right. Full amateur hour here. Anyway, we got through lap one while we sort this out. So yeah, Woody, maybe just disconnect and reconnect. Apologies for that, folks. As we get around lap one, Pigeon's taking out the lead. He's got a 1.5 second gap over Highlander. He's got about a second over Whopper. Then Logical Sports, Devil X, Dark Lord, got to keep getting it right, Dark Lord, Commander Cirrus, and then Commander Jim bringing up the tail. They've dropped off a bit back there, those guys. But as we know, Commander Jim plays it nice and safe for them later in the day. Meanwhile, who's this? Devil X all over Logical Sports, not the place to be trying to stick your nose in through here. Just want to be taking it easy. Reed Park, run out wide. Oh, there's a few coats of paint off the wall there for Devil X. Just pushing a bit hard. Yeah, that's it. He's come back a bit now. Oh, what have I got? I've got Woody Lizard inviting me to a party. Okay, bear with us while we do this. Let's see if this works. All right. I'm in the party now. Now we just need to find out if everyone can hear me. Oh, because of my setting. Oh, okay. But yep. Here we go. Appearing online. Does that do me? Do I have to actually log out? Does that have me going online? We can't have that. We can't have that. Let's all right, I'll be back, folks. I'll hand hopefully Woody, you can hear Woody okay. I'll hand you over to Woody. Oh, because it's my broadcast. Okay. The technical issues. This is what happens. I've streamed basically all season by myself. So, all right. I'm just going to leave for a second. I don't know. I'm guessing you guys can still hear me. Oh, I know what it is. I realise now. Start a party. Okay, let's in. Meanwhile, there's actually some racing going on in the background while we deal with the important stuff. Maybe I should have had a couple of beers before I started today. I know exactly where I need to go now. Cars. And here we are on board with Highlander. Kenny and Dado Racer take out a win this year. Fingers crossed for them. It'd be a great way to see them go out. Hopefully we got Woody back. I realised what the issue was. Something to do with the broadcast.
Okay, yes, I'm back and I've ticked the, I got the option to tick the box, so we should be good to go now with lap 40 of 40 in this session 1 on board Highlander.
Problems with being a single man, mate. Everything's just by himself. It was a setting in the broadcast settings that had the party on mute. Worked that out after all of that.
Nicely.
So here we are.
Look at this big
lap 4.
Highlander's looking very, very racy here. Looks like he wants to get in front of Rat Pigeon and probably try and bridge a gap. But Rat Pigeon is doing everything right in front here, as we're on board Highlander in position 2.
Yeah, and I think from what I've seen throughout the series, if Highlander just pressures Rat Pigeon a bit, he's been known to crack Rat Pigeon. So let's see if he's worked on that over the 3 or 4 weeks we've had off since the last round.
Well,
yeah,
I was just going to say, though, I don't know about that being cracking under pressure. He almost put a lap on everyone's Silverstone at the previous round. Absolutely blitzed it. I think the thing that cracks him is his internet, so I think more than anything.
Yes, and from memory, Highlander doesn't want to be too close because one of those times he got taken out with the cracked internet. But yeah, settling down now. So have we had any changes in position? Yeah, I think Commander Jim's moved up 3 or 2 places.
And Devil's actually dropped from position 3 down into position 5th, and he's now under attack with he's attacking, Logical Sports in position 4.
Yeah, I think he lost that early on because heading up the mountain on lap 1 or lap 2, he was following a Logical through here, putting the pressure on him. But yeah, everybody's just settling down now except for these two. Probably the closest battle on track, well, except for the lead, of course. But Dark Lord, he's down a minute, so obviously he's had an issue, and I guess he's gone into pits for damage, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, well, while we were actually sorting out our audio, I did have a little look at Dark Lord. You can see the damage on the right rear. So he's obviously clobbered the wall a bit, and it sounds like he's struggling with his speed here. Oh, I think this is a disconnect. Unfortunately, this looks like it could be something happening there with. So just let's hope he doesn't pull anyone else out. So on lap 5, he's had a problem there.
Yep, and looks like a Davey Reynolds all over again. Got to lap 5 and is out of the race. Unfortunately for Dark Lord, looking forward to seeing him go around here today.
Well, there's still time for him to obviously come back into the final session, but obviously he'll be a number of laps down.
Ooh.
Maximum laps down, I believe, was 3 laps.
Yep. So not totally out of it just yet.
No, we don't know what's going to happen yet.
Maybe there's a session of the Kardashians on at his place that he didn't know about. Family started watching that.
Yes.
All right, well, that was close there from Devil X. He just absolutely slammed the brakes on at the end of the mountain straight. Conrod straight, almost went in the rear of a Logical Sports. That'll get a Logical a bit worried there. He's leading the championship. He just wants to finish this race and finish ahead of Whopper and yourself. And who else?
Apparently,
I had it here somewhere.
It's also Commander Jim's teammate. Which will be Night Havoc.
Yes, that's the other one.
So
he just needs to finish ahead of those two to clinch his title. So he doesn't want to be taken out by anyone.
Yeah, so this man here, Whopper, he's doing a very solid start to the race, and obviously Illogical's just keeping tabs. Just a line of sight of Whopper. He doesn't want to let him go too far, but as we know, this is just the opening session. At the end of this session, we have a few drivers hopping into the team car, and we do a formation single file restart for the second session based on a safety car has come out halfway through the race at end of lap 40. And we'll get ourselves into that finishing order position before we go again. But up front, in the 51 Payas car. Now, we haven't seen the Payas car do overly well here at Bathurst, but under the hands of Rat Pigeon, it's a good sight to see this car. There's been many of drivers, one known as Sado 15 and Lockie 55s used to run in this car a little bit. And yeah, we're just hoping to see if we may see this fortunes change for this team here in 2020.
2022.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Yes, let's hope so. We'd like to see all the cars finish this year. Finish well. I'm just going to go back to Illogical and Devil X. If I was Illogical, I think I'd just let Devil X go. He seems to be a bit quicker at the moment. Just take the pressure off yourself. There's a long way to go in this race. Of course, the other thing is fuel and tyres. What's the strategy going to be? Yeah, getting back to the pace car. At the hands of different drivers in this team this time round with Dark Racing 40 and Wrapped Pigeon. As he rightly corrected me before, Wrapped Pigeon absolutely flew around Silverstone.
Yes.
So quite competent in these cars. And I guess now it'll be a matter of these guys managing their tyres. I can't quite recall. Been a couple of years since I drove here. I can't quite recall the tyre wear. I know Sato used to like to try the hards around here just to get the life out of them.
Yeah, your bold man on a hard tyre, but definitely the guys here, they'd be starting to feel a little bit of wear on the right-hand side, especially the front right. Gets an absolute beating around here. And I tell you what, I think Rat Pigeon might be starting to feel that. I think he's been pushing fairly hard to stay in front of Highland, and Highland has been able to have the freedom of just, you know, cruising behind. Well, I wouldn't say cruising, he's have to be running pretty hard to stay up with Rat Pigeon. Oh, that was close. Into the back of Rat Pigeon almost, but Highlander has probably been able to manage his tyres that little bit better, and it might be just a little bit better condition, because Highlander was all over the top of Pigeon that previous lap over the top of the mountain.
He was, wasn't he? So yeah, I think you're right. I reckon he's got better tyres at the moment. As you say, following, able just to roll out of the throttle, so you're not pushing as hard on the brakes. In the draft, I heard the draft mentioned a bit this morning in the practice. The effect of the draft going up the straights here is quite large, apparently, so don't have to push as hard. So that'll what it'll be about. Like we're saying, it's not who's fast around here, it's who can manage the car and the time.
Just have a look at those
for the inside.
I was just going to say, look at those previous. Oh, he's having a look. Oh. You've got to be a bold man to get it through there, but look how much time Highlander's dropped there. He's had to check up big time through the cutting. But I was just looking at the previous lap times, a lot of 203s, but the man down at the back at the moment, 12 seconds behind, did a 202.799, which is Commander Cirrus, who's actually just made a position on Commander Jim. So I don't know if Commander Jim has had a little bit of a moment, because they weren't quite close together a little while ago, so I think he might have had a little mistake.
He's got that famous bonnet going that we've seen at every event this year, the one that helps the aerodynamics by just pushing the wind straight over, missing the windscreen completely, so I'm not quite sure where he's had that incident.
So Commander Cirrus filling in for Sato 15, so he's going to score points for Sato towards the championship. And we've got the two Basmat cars together very shortly. They're following one another here in position 5 and 6 with the logical leading Commander Cirrus.
Yeah, and I wonder if there'll be team orders. Of course, it doesn't mean no points for this race, this session, the end of the next session, but Sato 15 not in the championship hunt for the win.
But he... Yeah, this car here, the number 1, is actually the car that won last year's Bathurst 1000 under Dark Racing 40 and Sato 15. So they paired up last year, winning the Bathurst 500, and that also gave Dark Racing 40 the Triple Crown.
Yes. Yeah, so he's looking for another win here. And I believe Dark Racing 40 started way back in the first one, 2016. Well, here we go. Who's this? Commander Jim.
And for Pitts, so obviously he did cause some damage. He did pick it up with the front bonnet, so obviously he's touched that wall with the front of his car somewhere. So he's getting some early repairs done. And back up front here with Rat Pigeon. Previous lap with a 203. So the top three are managing pretty fast pace early on for the 203s.
They are, aren't they? Just thinking, so Commander Jim, with that pit stop, he's still going to have to come in once again, but the main thing he wants to do is not go a lap down. See if he can stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be his aim, won't it? Yeah.
Yep. From here, stay on the lead lap.
But just to clarify too, this year as well, with it being a shorter session, where we're not doing the full sessions, we have introduced the waiver round. So a car that is falling a lap down or more will get 1 lap back. So all is not lost if he does fall a lap down in this session. He will get that lap back and be at the back of the grid. So it's all about trying to keep the competition alive for the final session. And yeah, we're just trialling that because we were lucky enough to actually trial this sort of format back on earlier in the year with Automobilista 2, and we did a 500, and we found that obviously having a wave around would actually help. I think it actually would have it affected you, I believe, Pegasus, where you're having a very close battle with someone when you're in the middle of the leader and was a fair lap down, but then you found then you're a lap away from a car that you were similar pace with. So the second session was sort of a non-event where you were similar pace with the car, which would have been interesting for that second session.
Yeah, that's right. I think I got overtaken with 2 laps to go by the leader, and I was about 6 seconds behind. I think it might have been your car, Woody, to be honest. And
Might have
as I
been.
say, put me a lap down. But it didn't matter in the end. It played out differently. Yeah. To keep the competition fair, yeah, that sounds like a great introduction to this series. But as we go looking here, Highlander just backed off a little bit through here by the looks of things. Might have scared himself a bit early there with that those couple of dives, especially the one into the cutting. And maybe his teammates got in his ear, just said, "Hold on a second, mate."
Exactly.
think of the long term here.
So unfortunately, we've just got that comment from Dark Lord, just finding out that, yeah, he did get disconnected and he was just getting in a rhythm after he hit the wall hard early. So obviously the car was still drivable. As we've seen, he was going up Mountain Straight when he disconnected. So that's unfortunate that has happened. But hopefully we see him back in the final session. And as we said, he will be three laps down at the worst. So still enjoy a full session around here at Mount Panorama, and it's getting overly close here. I tell you what, I think Highlander's thinking about that black bumper of Rat Pigeon needs a bit of blue on it, because I tell you what, he's got fairly close, but he hasn't touched him yet, so give him the credit there.
So much speed down the straight there, isn't it? Like, honestly, he was, as I said, I thought he'd eased off, and then by the end of the chase, there he is sticking his nose up there. So only a matter of time.
3/10 faster there on those laps. So he had lost a little bit of time from Pigeon, and he's bridged that gap again. And look, still now the two actual the Devil and Commander Cirrus actually. So they've got in front of Illogical. Illogical has now dropped to 6. And we have both Illogical and Commander Cirrus now flying with the fastest men on the track, actually, with a 202.9 for both of them, that previous lap.
Yeah, and I'm just curious, I couldn't quite see, looked like there might have been a bit of a scrape on Illogical's driver's side of his car. So maybe going across, yeah, there we are, going across McPhillamy. Oh, he's got one on the other side too, evened it out there.
Yeah, I can't see any on my screen, but obviously on yours it is, so it might come up on the stream as being a scrape, but on mine I can't see anything there at the moment.
Yeah, so it's had a bit of a couple of wall scrapes, I'd say, coming across the... Oh, there we go again.
Maybe it was there, Pegasus, previous lap.
Yeah, he did tap that one yesterday in the shootout, coming through there, and then a bit later on, because of the tap, he got the wall down through here as well. So, just saying, a lot on the line here for Illogical. He just wants to finish.
So let's have a look at the fuel loads, Pegasus. Just we're into the rhythm now. We're a third through this opening session.
Yes.
Oh, not a third. We're getting towards a third, but quarter of the way through. But we've got 53 litres for Rat Pigeon.
Right, so that's about halfway through, isn't it? 65 for Highlander.
Yeah, 112 litres for a full tank, 112. So I think that Highlander is halfway through his fuel tank. Pigeon obviously started with a little bit less fuel. Whopper, the strategies here, he's got 22 litres, so he's started with a lot less fuel than everyone. And he's been able to hold touch actually with the leaders in that little setup too, with a 203, matching the leaders. But this man here, Devil X, constantly doing 202s at the moment. And he's only halfway through his fuel tank as well. So he would have started on 112 litres by the looks of that, with 64 litres in the tank at this stage. Same as the Vazmat car of Commander Cirrus. And the Logical Sports is able to probably conserve a bit more fuel with a 65.5 litres. And I'd say Commander Jim's, or maybe he just fixed damage because he's on 66 litres, so definitely didn't take on fuel during that pit stop we saw earlier from Jim.
Yeah, and I think he was in that awkward spot of like only doing about 7 or 8 laps where he has to come back in anyway. So, yeah, he was sort of not quite far enough up to get away with his pit stop. Oh, look out. This would say that Devil X, he's got the famous Falcon bonnet going as well. Had a tap across the mountain. Oh, car's not handling too good.
No, he's crunched that. Let's try and see if we can go on board and see if we've got any view of his hands, right hand down at all. Maybe just a touch.
Pretty straight.
Yeah, I think he's fighting it though, to be honest. Like, it looks like he's trying to bring it to the left all the time.
Yeah, kind of pulling. And how far out is he? So we asked the question earlier in practice, how many laps before you can fuel and get to the end? Oh, doesn't want to pull up there.
Yeah, there's obviously some damage there with the car. So yeah, about 27 if you're conserving fuel. You could probably get 27 laps, so he's just not there yet.
It's not there. Needs probably another 3 or 4 to be sure. Makes me want to jump in a car and go racing this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
so interesting to see how this plays out for him, because so he's going to have to just nurse the car around the next couple of laps, get it to the pit stop, fix his damage, get back out there, stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, so that was a 2:06 that last lap, so obviously he was doing 2:02, so he's dropped 4 seconds, so it was definitely an incident he's had, but we'll keep an eye and see what pace he does this next lap. And basically he could pit this lap going around. I'll maybe do one more lap and he'll get to the end, but don't forget as well the fuel rule, that what fuel number that they're going to be in at the end of the final lap will go through from position 1 down through the field on their last lap. And we'll take note of the fuel level that they're running, and that's the fuel level they must start the second session. So if they've got less than 8 litres, they will be given 8 litres to start the first session, so they can get around for the parade lap and take the start of the race and pit. But so most of these cars will be 2 stopping, I'd say, in this first session anyway, Pegasus. So all's not over, especially for Commander Jim as well. So I think if he can get to around lap 34, 35 and then fill up the tank, you'll probably give the car back to Night Havoc in a good fuel mode to be able to do a 1-stopper in the second session.
Yeah, so that's an interesting little twist that I wasn't aware of, because as usual, never read the write-ups. Apologies for that, Woody. I know you put so much effort into those. So yeah, that changes the picture of this race coming towards the end. Do you come in with a lap to go? Do you come in and fuel the whole thing right up? Here he goes, into the pits. So
he knows that he can get to the end here and then obviously have a splash and dash to fill her up. So he's taking the advantage now. He's going to lose too much time to the others. So when he comes, his pit crew's ready to go. Yeah, it looks like it's crabbing a little bit on my screen.
Yeah, and he's probably deemed it it's a bit too unsafe to keep going.
So back up front, Rat Pigeon now has actually extended his lead to almost 4 seconds, or what it says there, 4 seconds now to Highlander.
Yeah, he's cleared out, hasn't he? Highlander did a 2:05 that last lap, so...
Yeah, and Whopper's slowing the pace as well. Could be the tyres.
Could be the tyres. I just wondered if Highlander just had another go somewhere. It didn't quite work out for him. Maybe he went off track.
Yeah, while we were looking at Devil X, maybe that could have happened. He throws it into the dipper there, doesn't he, Rat Pigeon? He's got all the confidence in the world in this car at the moment.
Yes, he has.
And
to be honest, he has all season, really, hasn't he?
Oh, he has. He's been unlucky. He probably should be leading the championship, to be fair. With those 2 vital disconnects he's had, I think he was up either leading the race or close to leading the race. And let's not forget also Highlander. This man, he was leading, I think, Ruin Les Assarts as well until he got pulled off, disconnected when, oh, that sounded a bit rude, didn't it? Pulled off by Whopper. When Whopper got disconnected, as you might have been saying, I think maybe his wife was streaming the Farmer Wants a Wife or something like that, and putting a load on Whopper's crazy internet.
Dark racing, you just keep your mouth quiet for the second. He's dropping bombs everywhere at the moment.
Yeah, slipping bombs. But definitely, it looks like Highlander at the moment is as well fairly comfortable. 2 seconds off the pace at the moment. But look, we've just got to that stage now where the race is going to settle down for a little bit. And I think it's going to, probably have that period now for the next 10, 15 laps before we see it all come alive again for the final 10 laps.
Yeah, just looking at the lap times there, they've all dropped. Cirrus is down in the 204s, Logical down in the 204s. Whopper on pace with the leader at the moment, slowly building into it.
Yeah,
once again, those tyres, probably the thing there, the tyres starting to wear out. So he's not quite sure who ran what.
He's closing the gap and he's got just under 8 litres of fuel, so he may be pitting this lap or next lap around. I'd say it'll be this lap around. I think they burn just...
Ooh, hits the wall.
Pushing hard. He's been able to keep it off the wall there at Reed Park, going up towards McPhillamy. You don't want to hit the double walls there because that just pretty much puts an end to your race.
Wall of death.
Wall of death, exactly.
Yeah.
And
so he'll definitely pit this lap now.
I think Highlander's teammate last year, Simo Racing, they were leading the race. I think that's where Simo hit the wall and got automatic damage, 100% engine damage, and couldn't continue. So Highlander's had a lot of luck, a lot of unluck, I should say.
A lot of luck, but all bad.
All bad luck, yeah, throughout these races here at Bathurst. So hoping to join in Dado Racer, who Dado's always been strong at Bathurst. So obviously hoping the fortunes turn for Highlander and they grab this very sought after prize of winning the Bathurst 1000 here at ANZCRL Combined Racing League. And here comes Whopper into the pit, so this looks scheduled, knocks over a couple of Witches Cone.
Yep, not their friend, is he?
No, and Commander Cirrus, so he's gone through while Whopper is getting serviced in pit lane.
Yeah, and up to third for Cirrus. Still only that 12-second, 13-second gap to the leader, so holding station there. Bit of a dark horse, Commander Cirrus. Shadows handed the car over to a safe, well, I won't say a safe pair of hands, a good pair of hands.
Yeah, definitely.
Cirrus has known to have his moments too.
Now here Commander Jim comes. So he, as we will be aware, he pitted early for damage. Now he's going to now take that position from Whopper, who's still stationary in pit lane. It looks like it's just about to start moving. Yeah, he's just away. So Commander Jim will take that position as Whopper filters now down out of pit lane.
Yes, and how much fuel has he put in there, would he? Did he fill it?
Let's have a look.
Best to fill it at this stage, aren't you?
75, yeah. So, yeah, a little bit of a strategy call that both myself and Whopper worked on at the very late stage of the race before it started. So we'll see how this all pans out.
Interesting, yeah. So what'll that get you, about 24 laps, I'm guessing?
Oh, yeah, well, probably less than that.
5 litres a lap.
Yeah.
5.6 a lap, isn't it?
So a bit under that. Everyone can do the maths, but obviously there's still some more strategy to play out. There's Rat Pigeon now. On the screen there on the map, you can see the blue dots and the white dots. You might be wondering what that is other than the blue arrow, which is obviously the leader. The blue dots are basically cars that, under this way that the pace is going, will fall a lap down by the end of the race. When you see a red dot, that means that car is actually a lap down to the car we're watching. So, as you can see, there's 3 blue dots. There's one that keeps going, flickering from blue and white, which is the leading blue dot. He's right on the cusp because occasionally it goes white. But as we know, all those 3 cars have pitted. So both Commander Jim, Whopper and Devil X have all pitted, when these other 4 cars have yet to pit. As Highlander, as we're talking, is into the pits. So he's obviously seen that Whopper has made that pit early, and are they covering as well? So yeah, he came in from position 2.
I love that little tidbit of knowledge. I've played this game for so long and never knew what that meant until now. And as we're going to retire this game, it probably won't matter to me again.
That's right. Unfortunately, here at ANZCRL Combined Racing League, we are finding it hard to continue with the league on this game, but we'd love to keep it going, but we just need people that actually have the game to continue with us. But obviously it's now unavailable to purchase online or anywhere. You can only pick it up second hand somewhere. So yeah, it's hard to try and introduce new players that may want to join us, and we're looking at other avenues at the moment. But you know, I think that there might be talk of maybe running still a few special events here on Project Cars throughout 2023, depending on the interest on Xbox.
Yes. So here we are, Rap Pigeon. So he's still not far off his fastest pace. Hey, I just see there, only a second down, the last split. So
can you see the time in
pushing hard. Yep. So best lap there at 2:02.5. Last lap 2:03.7. So still running at a good spot. Got a few penalties there. Cirrus with a 1 second penalty. Whopper with a 1 second penalty. I don't think they're going to matter too much in the scheme of things.
And have a look
Logical
at
Sports.
Devil's last lap is his fastest lap and the fastest lap of the race at 2:01.320. So let's just get on to Devil, because he's absolutely flying at this stage.
He is. And as I've been mentioning all season, that bonnet scoop there, it just makes all the difference to the aerodynamics. Obviously starting to play out now. But yeah, he's on it. He's almost on qualifying laps, which is amazing considering, you know, well, obviously fresh tyres, track's rub it in a little bit too. Maybe the track's cooled a bit as well. Probably got that car in the sweet spot as far as balance goes with weight. Now he's got a bit more fuel in it too. So these cars change a little bit as the fuel burns off.
Oh,
yeah,
they
definitely
do that.
Devil
yeah.
X.
Yeah, and he was only 0.2 seconds off his fastest time, so this could be another 2:01. No one else has been in the 2:01s all race, so Devil is absolutely flying. Don't forget, before we had that little incident, he was climbing through the field as well. I think he got up as high as 4th. I think it was just behind Whopper.
Yes.
And at the moment, he's, as we can see, only 7 seconds behind Whopper at this stage. So I tell you what, if he has his strategies down to place, you could see him up in the finishing high up in the order here for this first session.
Yeah. And he's had his first praying. He's got that out of the way, got that out of his system. He knows where he can push now, where to take it easy. It's that reality check, that is, isn't it? It just brings you back down, like, okay. So,
it certainly does.
It's great.
Like, you know what, there is that nerves. There's always those nerves when you get into these sort of special events, isn't there, Pegasus? And
yes,
sometimes you make that first little error. Yes, you kick yourself, but you get back into the pits, and you know sometimes settle, and you just go out there confident again and settled, and next thing you know, the times start coming to you.
Yeah, it's that reset. For me personally, I know I get in and I'm always worried about having a crash, you know, so I drive a bit, I won't say, I guess
through that. He was chasing that the whole way around, and the car's just, he was put enough opposite lock in there, but he's only just glanced the inside barrier out of Forest Elbow. But we also saw Highlander take that position 4 from Commander Jim.
Yes. Yes, that was well held on. That was great camera work there too to catch that. Yeah, he did really well to keep that from being any more severe than what it is. As I was saying, I always drive worried about crashing, so I'm always tense. So you get that muscle tenseness, you know, and it just, things don't flow smoothly. And then you have that praying, and you're like, oh well, let's just go for it now, and you relax, and then it all just seems to come to you. That's the difference between the great racers and the average ones like me. They just jump in and they're relaxed from the get-go.
That's it.
You know, hats off to them. Here we go. Here's a great racer here, Logical Sports. Of course, he streams on Twitch. He runs iRacing. I think he does a bit of ACC as well. Go and check him out, Logical Sports. There's a great charity that he helps raise money for. And holding it together today. Where is he? Currently in 3rd position. As we keep saying, he just needs to finish ahead of the Almignac team and the Sapmal team. And he should take home the driver's crown for the V8s for the final time. Oh, just as I say that,
just
it's a bit nervous
in the brakes.
But
yeah, I was just going to say, with Illogical, he's obviously ambassador for Veterans Gaming in Australia, and that's who he runs his charity, and he also streams for those guys as well. Some of his races that he's done. As Pigeon is in the pits, so here he goes just before halfway point. He has decided to go in. Will we see Commander Cirrus is staying out? Will Logical come in? So Commander Cirrus takes control of this race. What I was going to say, could Project Cars invent any more tongue-twisting team names in a game?
Oh, I don't think they can. There's some sicko out there. His job is specifically to get these team names together, is it? We go Logical in the pits as well. I think he had a bit of a fright there. I was going to guess his tyres are probably getting a bit worn on the front. So, yeah, no need to risk it for him.
And here comes the hungry pack that have pitted early. So look at this. Will we see a change of effectively the lead?
Yeah, we will.
With Highlander over Rat Pigeon. So that pitting early with the tyre advantage.
Off there in the background.
Yeah, has definitely reaped benefits.
The fastest lap of the race for him.
And Commander Jim.
2:01.5.
So they're going to take
Whopper.
Rat Pigeon here. So Rat Pigeon just exiting pit lane now, and he has dropped from 1st all the way down to 5th. And we're still waiting for Commander Cirrus to pit as Commander Jim and Whopper are toe-to-toe up Mountain Straight. Whopper on the outside. He's got that overlap.
Oh, I thought Jim was going to stick it up the inside there. Thought better of it. But yeah, there we go. Interesting, hey? So I think from what I'm seeing playing out here, and anyone watching, tyres. Yes, I think it's going to come down to tyres. Don't worry about fuel strategy, boys. It's tyre strategy. These guys came in early, got some fresh tyres on, and it's paid big dividends. Of course, now we get the swinging, the pendulum swings the other way. Of course, we've got Rat Pigeon on fresh tyres now. These guys are on worn. So it'll be interesting to see how Commander Jim goes, because his tyres about 11 laps. It's if he took them at the pit stop when he had repairs. 11 laps old. Whopper's probably got about 3 or 4 laps on his tyres. Highlander though, he's been let loose. I think we'll just say goodbye to him. I don't think you'll catch this guy the rest of this session.
So that strategy absolutely paid off. So Highlander came in a lap after Whopper did, and I think Highlander might have triggered in Highlander. He had the fuel, but I think what triggered in Highlander was tyres. As you said, Pegasus, it's all about tyres. If I can get those fresh tyres, put in some fast laps, as you can see. The last lap he did a 2:01.583 compared to, we can't really say Rat Pigeon because he had the pit stop. So, but I think he was doing around about 2:05s, 2:04s, I think, before he pitted Pegasus. I'm not 100% sure.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely a big leg up with the fresher tyres.
Yeah, eased off a bit now. I think he's got in the lead. He's just eased it back a bit slower that lap, but just looking at Devil X 2:01.3 that previous lap, 2:02 this time, and in comes Commander Jim. Yeah, had to do that second stop to get the fuel to go to the end.
Yeah, we had the fuel, so maybe not. I'm not too sure. I think it might be a bit too early. He had still enough fuel to keep going for a bit. I would have actually kept going, but as you said, we're talking tyres now more than fuel. So he could have seen that maybe his fuel was, his tyres were going off. So
yes, and of course we don't know if he took tyres in the repair stop.
No,
it's just so maybe it was that he did the repairs, didn't do fuel and tyres. Yeah, so yeah, starting to get interesting again, isn't it? Now that pit stops are running. That's that everyone in? I think that's everyone
No,
in the
Cirrus
pits
is
now.
coming in now.
Oh,
So
Cirrus. Here he goes.
he's coming in. So we'll see where he's going to filter out. But obviously Highland is effectively the race leader. We know that for a fact because he's going to absolutely motor down here, Conrod, and we're still waiting for Commander Cirrus to get on his marks. Pit stops are around about 40 seconds, roughly, for fuel and tyres, 40, 50 seconds. So, yeah, he's going to lose some time, depending what he's doing.
Yep. Yep, so Highlander, though, definitely coming into the chase now. Easily going to take the lead. And then, well, we can't quite see yet till the timers click over. He's got at least one position on Pigeon. Two positions on Pigeon here.
I honestly think Cirrus will come out, filter out behind his teammate, Illogical.
Yep.
Oh, no, not Illogical, this man, Devil X, sorry. I thought that was Illogical. The little abbreviations get you, don't they? I heard you say during the top 10 shootout with the Red Aces, we had Ace. So, yeah, so here we go. The Devil is actually...
we had Dark Lord and Dark Racing.
That's it,
so
yeah,
there we go.
Yeah.
And then I was getting confused between myself and Night Havoc as well.
Yes.
All right, so yeah. There we go. Whopper up to second spot. So interesting. I'm not going to call any positions in the championship yet. Don't want to ruin the race for anybody. Those in the know, we'll see things are starting to change up a bit. But there's quite a little grouping here, about 4 cars just coming up through this section of the mountain. Is there like 4 seconds, 5, 6, 7 seconds covering them. All got different wear on their tyres at the moment. They've all pitted a bit differently.
Well, Pigeon is the one with probably the freshest tyres out of this little pack. Other than Commander Cirrus, actually. Commander Cirrus is just behind. Obviously, he's just come out of the pit, so keep an eye on Cirrus, because as we know, before the line of pit stops, about 6 laps before that, he was doing the 202s along with Devil X.
Yeah, that's right. He was getting quite quick.
Where everyone else was doing 203s.
The track's rubbering in now too, and that's another thing you do notice. One of the good things that Project Cast did well is you could feel the grip come up in the track as you went round further, longer and longer in a race or in the stint. So these guys all getting a bit more. They'll get a bit more confident as the track grips up. Obviously, it looks a bit cooler out there as well. They'll be able to go just a little bit further, a little bit longer before they break. They get a bit more grip, a bit more traction out of the corners.
Yeah, definitely.
Should see those laps start to come down.
He looks like he's on for his fastest lap. He was only 0.01 second, I think it was, behind his fastest lap through Sector 2. So let's see what it is here when he finishes. And yes, that's his fastest lap of the race, 202.434. We've seen a 201 by Devil. Yeah. The Devil behind him. He's still a little bit faster.
4 cars. 4 cars in the 2s then. Cirrus in the 3s. Oh, sorry, the 13s, but he just, that's his out lap from the pits. Logical in the 4s. Commander Jim did a 2:16. I think he just come out of the pits too, didn't he, that lap as well? So
that's right.
Pace is there for everybody. Pace is there.
Yeah, you just see how, and you might be wondering, why are some of these drivers running their lights on and others aren't? Well, it's mainly to do with the dash on the steering wheel. It's very hard to see without the lights on. Once you put the lights on, let's have a look if we can actually see the difference with the cockpit. You can see there. Yeah. You can see the actual displays highlighted, but I don't think Whopper's got his lights on, and you can see the difference where it's just the LCD background. A little bit darker, so some people just like that greener highlighted behind it and be able to see things a little bit better. It's the reason
I love
why
that view down across over the skyline, through the dipper, down the S's. That's just an unbelievable view. Oh, and here we go, Whopper's up on his time. Everybody's starting to settle. They've settled in now. They'll get to the end of this session and they'll be feeling like, oh, why couldn't it be a bit longer? I'm actually like feeling pretty good in the car.
You just
Nice
see
line through there.
quickly, just was nudging 290 kilometres an hour into the chase.
Yeah, in quali, I think the top speed into there was 293.
Yes, you're right. It was outstanding. I didn't think these cars could go that fast, and Whopper's actually put his fastest lap of the race in with a 202.676. So things are starting to feel very comfortable for the drivers out there, which is good to see.
It is.
We'll
I'm loving it.
I thought Devil was that little bit closer to Rat Pigeon, but he's still got a few seconds behind, about a second or so behind. So we'll keep an eye on that. But we've got Highlander and teaming up with Dado Racer this year in the Team Mondelin car out front on lap 24 of 40 in this session, but the race is over 81 laps. And then
Sorry, my mind was wondering then about Dado having to jump in.
Oh, that was close.
That was. No cobwebs left on the wall there.
No, that's right. Maybe just taking a little bit of paint just to give you a bit of weight advantage off the car here as well.
Yes.
But yeah, Whopper teaming up with myself, Woody Lizard. Obviously, I'm aiming for the championship victory if we can over Illogical Sports. But I've got to have a little bit of luck go our way, and we'll see what happens. So I'm not 100% sure where Illogical's got to finish. I do know that I'd have to at least win the race to give myself a good chance, because the points are pretty close, separating between the cars.
I'm just going to go and look for it now. But yeah, I think there was 6 points between you two. Oh. So Whopper has to, Illogical has to finish in front of you. If he finishes behind, it's not good enough because of the structure of the points for the Endurance Series.
Yeah, I thought we were a bit further behind than that, but yeah, just...
So... sorry, I'm getting carried away. I'm looking at the teams. Five points between the teams. So yeah, let me work this out. So 34 points between yourself and Illogical Sports. And
okay. So there's the gaps are fairly big. We've got about 300 points for first, 276, so that's 24 points difference. 24. 258 for third. So yeah, that's
if Illogical finishes, he finishes one position behind you, he claims the championship.
Yeah.
So mathematically you can win, but you need help from a few other drivers out there.
Maybe have them in the meat of the sandwich, as they might say.
That's the one. We need the Guintini brothers sandwich.
Yeah. Yes, and if the Guintini brothers are watching, hello guys.
Yep. Looking forward to seeing you on track for the Bathurst 6 hour coming up. ANZCRL representing on Assetto Corsa Competizione in a few weeks' time. Yeah, so that's where we're at. So
someone's asked just of the speedo, so let's have a look. I mean, not the speedo, the fuel level. So Highlander, obviously he's leading the race there with just under 74 litres. Whopper again with only 32 litres. Obviously a strategy coming out to play there. 86 litres for Rat Pigeon. He was he would have filled them right up.
Guess he fueled it to the top, yeah. So he doesn't have to stop again.
Well, he doesn't, but then he'll be sacrificing his amount of fuel he'll start in the second session for Dark Racing 40. So I still think there'll be some splash and dashes at the end to obviously have those tanks full or near enough full. So 72 litres for Cirrus, 87 for Illogical, and 92 for Commander Jim. So basically everyone could get to the end of the race other than Whopper at this stage. Oh, what's happened here? I think it's just Rat Pigeon attacking.
I think it is. Rat Pigeon dive bombing. Normally we associate that with magpies, but look out for these pigeons.
So, yeah, that's right. Watch out for those pigeons. And as I was saying earlier about the headlights, that it's easy to also see the dash. But we've had, I think it's latch sponsite. Actually, that was Night Havoc. Sorry, he's mentioned that it's also. Oh, he's up on 2 wheels over through Reed Park, and you don't want to be doing that too much. Yeah. No. Night Havoc obviously saying it also intimidates your rivals with the lights on. So you could see as they were coming up out of the Griffin's Bend, we had Rat Pigeon weaving left and right, obviously trying to intimidate Whopper with those lights on.
Yeah, I'm just trying to run these fuel strategies through my head. So I'm thinking like Rat Pigeon. So have these guys? Have they decided to just divide the race into 3s? You know, so a third, a third, a third. So he might not pit again, and then he gives Dark Racing 40, maybe about 40 litres. That'll get him through about maybe a third of the next session. Then he just fills up and goes to the end.
Yeah.
No, which one's going to play out, isn't it? It's like interesting. I'm going to hazard a guess here and say that Whopper and yourself there, you're going for maybe a four-stop strategy to get through. Run the car a bit lighter, a bit easier on the tyres. Go that way. Right. And then what do we got the other guys? Well, Commander Jim, he's having that accident probably threw his strategy out a little bit, but then there's probably the other guys might be thinking, yep. Also, it depends how the car feels. Some of these cars feel a lot more comfortable to drive through those middle litres of the fuel. When they're too heavy, they're a bit of a handful. When they're too light, they're a bit of a handful. So whether they just want to keep it sort of in that midsection, so they'll come in and top up a bit at the end.
Yeah, I really think
lots
that,
to think about.
Yeah, there is a lot to think about. You've obviously communicated that really well, but you hit it pretty right there about the fuel, the mid fuel levels. And when the tanks are around that 70 to 40, maybe even 30 litres, the car just feels really, really well stable through these longer stints. Obviously, you're going to get more pace out of the car when you've got 10 litres, what they all did on the top 10 shootout. But you did witness also Devil X doing a low 201, and that was probably with the fuel level around that 80, 90 litres of fuel probably. So
yeah, we've seen a few 201s probably around that area, and now fuel's burning off, tyres are getting a bit worn again. See what happens. But yeah, here's the little battle on track. Of course, Rat Pigeon in the Pace Motorsports car, he was leading. There's just see Highlander disappearing under the Dunlop Bridge up there. Well, that's what it's called in real life. On Project Cars, it's probably something else. But
tongue twister sponsor. No, it's madness.
Total madness. It's the Madness Engine Bridge. So so he was leading earlier on. So he's really wanting to get this back. He probably feels that Whopper's holding him up just a little bit. Oh, and there around in the background goes Devil X. Didn't touch anything. So easy to spin it there. Cameraman's lost his way. Oh, and he's put in a wall trying to flick spin, get it back. He was actually catching those two.
Yeah, he was. So that's a big mistake from Devil. Yep. Obviously, the pace of that car has been really, really good, but obviously it's also a little bit sensitive to a little bit of an error here and there. And that's one thing. Rat Pigeon has actually got Whopper while we were looking at Devil X. So that's probably up Mountain Straight, I reckon, out of Hell Corner. He's probably got to had a better run. And in all honesty, with our team talk, I think that's going to be suiting Whopper fine, having that pressure alleviated now.
Oh, and he hits the wall straight away.
Yeah, Rat Pigeon's now trying to chase down Highlander. He probably's wondering, oh man, I've done the wrong thing. I should have pitted earlier with these tyres. But, he can still get this back and finish his session in first. We know that his pace is there. And it depends when these guys are going to pit for this splash and dash to give themselves a bit of fuel. Obviously, they're going to sort of alluded that the guys are trying to make it so they can only have to pit once in the final session, because obviously pitting twice could cost you the race in the final session. especially if your competitors are only doing one stop. So even though having fresh tyres, I don't think you're going to bridge that extra stop for the new tyres. So it's all about having enough fuel to be able to calculate how much fuel you're going to use over that 40 laps. And if like, oh, he's got a little bit loose in the entry of the chase.
Oh, I was about to say, when he hit the wall, now's the time to actually keep your head.
Here comes
It's one
Whopper.
thing, oh, Whopper coming back. Yeah, it's one thing to get past. Oh, he's going to go the dive bomb.
Back at him.
Oh.
Nice driving by Pigeon.
Yeah, boys, there's still another session to go. Settle. I was going to say, I think he was feeling like he was being held up, got set free, and then tried to fly away. Pardon all the puns. Tried to fly away, but ran into the wall, pushing too hard. He just needs to, if he can get somewhere within 5 seconds, 6 seconds of Highlander. Oh, and here we go again. Pushes him wide, no room on the outside.
Whopper, he's flashing, he's not happy. Not happy at all. He had to touch the brakes there. He got forced out the outside. But look, we've already seen Pigeon is a tough racer and he means business. So that's a beautiful thing of league racing. You get to know the traits of different drivers. And I'd have to say, Pigeon, it was fairly fair. He was just aggressive. He knew that he wanted to get in front.
Yes.
He definitely didn't. Oh, as they both just glanced in the wall, but definitely Pigeon did not lead him any further than, you know, he gave him enough room on the exit there of Griffin's bend.
Yep.
But I tell you what, I'd say Whopper would be a bit fuming under that helmet.
I would be too. It's yeah, just it's not what I was getting to is that you get the red mist comes down, you're like, oh, you start getting angry with yourself because you're losing pace, you push too hard, you start making mistakes. Last thing you want to do is take someone else out though. Just bear with me, I've just got to change over some batteries and I'll be back.
That's fine, yeah, that's what I was going to say though. Rat Pigeon had all that in the back of his mind, and he knew that he gave Whopper that space. It was up to Whopper space, and then it's all fair racing. So yeah, we saw Whopper flashing a little bit. It probably was just thinking it was a bit too aggressive, but look, at this stage, Rat Pigeon has got Highlander in front, and he knows he's got the pace to try and bridge this gap on Highlander.
All right.
He's fresher tyres than Highlander and Whopper too, so that's another thing. The fresher tyres will obviously give him that benefit grip, and that was able why he's got that confidence in that car at the moment, the Payas car.
Yes. And it's probably his fuel's hitting that magic number we were talking about where the car just comes to life. Oh, a bit of excitement there. Batteries were going flat. Cars are going left, right and centre. Time to sit down and have a Coke.
Yeah, that sounds very inviting to have a nice soft drink at this stage of the race. As they say in Daytona, they're having ice cream. So, yeah.
The ice creams, I left that in the shop today. I've eaten a bit too much of that in the last couple of months. But I got my red cordial here. I'm fired up.
So the clouds are not threatening at all. There's obviously a heavy cloud amongst the mountain there. Obviously a nice warm day though, here at the mountain. I think around about, nudging 30 degrees and around about 48 track temperature. Maybe 45, something around there.
Beautiful day, and while we're talking about the weather, just put out my heart to all those people suffering from the floods at the moment through Victoria and southern New South Wales. Let's hope that they're all nice and safe.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Been a bit treacherous over there.
Don't forget our cousins in Tasmania either, the northern part of Tasmania. They copped it earlier as well.
That's actually where most of my cousins live. I am from Tasmania. big hello to Jetto, if you're out there. Not that he's my cousin. He's a Taswegian, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, here we go.
Here we go.
This is the strategy playing out now.
So lap 30 of 40, he's in.
He's in.
So what's he doing now? So he's coming with 10 litres of fuel. We'll catch up on him, or we can watch the fuel numbers go up here as we watch it.
Yep.
And it looks like a Logical Sports coming on through now. He'll take 4th position from Whopper.
Yep, he's still
The
got
question
65.
will be if Devil X, he may just be behind. Whopper should get out before Devil X, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's going to be close. Where are we? 98, so filling it up.
Looks like he's filling it right up to the brim. 112 litres can go in. So there you go. He's hit the mark. Fuel hose man will be out. And so they'll be putting fresh rubber on as well.
Yeah, Devil X just exiting the chase up by the looks of things. Coming around Murray's.
Yeah, so he's going to take him as well. You can just see how long the pit stop. So Whopper is on the move.
Just
I
got
think,
him.
Devil's going to have him. But then again, Devil's got the pit again. He's only got 38 litres. That's not going to get him to the end. They run over about 4.5 litres a lap, and he's got 9 laps remaining.
Yep.
So he's just going to fall short. And as we know, they need to have some fuel in those tanks for the co-drivers for the next session. Well, Devil's doing it solo, but yeah, definitely need to think about the fuel numbers for the start of session 2.
And just wondering, is there an advantage to running solo? You know, because on one hand, you're in the group, but you've got to have a break in between. You sort of got a good session out of the way. You know what your car can and can't do, but you've done a session already. Co-drivers are getting in fresh. Of course, they're probably running a few laps just to keep their eye in before they jump in. But yeah, you get out there, you're not quite sure what the track is, you're not quite sure how everyone's car's handling. Yeah, there's a plus and a negative for both sides, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. And this straight here, you can see those red dots there, cars that obviously will put a lap down on Commander Tim. Currently he's on lap 31 of 40 and the leaders are on lap 32, but as you can see he's in front of Highlander at this stage, so he's still on the lead lap. He's the last car on the lead lap.
Yep.
And how things are going to play out, I think that you'll probably find Commander Tim may even just manage to stay on the lead lap before the end of this race, because we've got the splash and dash to go. Commander Tim's got, what, 66 litres.
Yep.
And Highlander's got 44, so he's going to need a little bit extra fuel. And will Highlander pull it up a little bit as well? Will he keep going hard, or will he's got a, what, 12-second gap on wrap pitching at the moment?
Yeah, and it's gaps stay pretty consistent. Bandicera's still in there too, not far away. Again, those top three, 202.6,
Yeah.
2.5 and a 2.3, there and thereabouts.
Yeah, and don't forget also Highlander and Simo Racing have are
And
actually
the Logical
fuel
Sports, is, am I seeing that correct? Is that a 2 minutes, 0.8 seconds?
No, it's Devil X actually. So
Oh,
he's
sorry,
done a 2.0.
Devil X.
Devil X, yeah, he's done a 2 minute flat 0.8. That is sensational in race tune. As you can see, that 32. So that's that window we're talking about, where the cars absolutely love to just balance well with a certain amount of fuel, and he's absolutely blitzing it at the moment.
Yeah, he'll be. Oh, and he's up as well. So yeah, he's obviously mad at himself for spinning coming out of Murray's corner. So easy to spin there. How many of us have done it? Oh, runs the wall. Runs the wall there. Wonder that mirror's that mirror's still hanging on. I'd hate to be a right-hand side mirror going around Bathurst. They
You're not wrong.
definitely have a short lifespan.
I tell you what, you said he was up. So the lap record actually he's held by Saturday 15 last year with a 2 minute 0.720. So he's got the fastest lap of this race with a 2 minute 0.803 at the moment, and he's up. So this could be, we could be watching here, witnessing the fastest lap ever, race lap around Mount Panorama here at ANZCRL Combined Racing League. Will Devil X take Saturday's glory of the track record, the fastest lap around Bathurst?
I'm excited. I had to get out of my seat to watch this. And he's got a damaged
We
car
want
too.
He has got a damaged car on our screen, but can he get under the 207.2 minutes, 0.720? Edge him on, get off the seats, get that going, push the car a bit further, get the boost.
There we go, across the line. Yes!
Yes!
Kills it.
2 minute 5, 6, 9 seconds. That's 1.8 seconds, well, 0.18 seconds or so faster than Stato 15's
And he's
track
not
record
finished.
from last year.
He's not
He's
finished.
not finished. The famous words, he's not finished yet. Will he continue?
Coming up to the next split now.
The
Where is it?
competition just
Come
gets tougher and
Oh.
tougher and tougher.
That's
Yeah,
right. It's under the Howtech Bridge, isn't it? That's where the next split is.
Yeah.
I'm getting
This
too
is
eager.
where the sector is coming up just through here. That little grade.
Oh, no, he's down a
It's
bit
slower.
now.
You probably finally push that hard his tyres now, like in the real life. They need to just get those settled down a little bit. They can't keep going hard after they've pushed that hard for a fast lap. You've got to manage those tyres.
Needs to have a breather.
So
All
well
right.
brought up to the 2 minute earlier, thinking it might have been illogical. But this man here is doing a good job too with 202.9, keeping pace with Brad Kitchen, who's only 5 seconds up the road. You can see him.
Yes.
Up further up Mountain Straight. So let's have him on board go on Commander Seriously, the number one, the reigning Bathurst 1000 winning car, the number one Satmel car. Oh, Basmac, I should say.
Basmac. Oh, nice line through there. We head up the mountain. This place is so steep, this little section here. In real life, you just can't, even in the game, it doesn't represent it. Great line through the through the cutting. Quick change up to third to reduce the wheel spin. Coming through just a bit of a blip there. Pulls fourth early, just to keep the car settled. Down through Reed Park, looking for the tree out there on the right. There we go. This is the great. Okay, come around here. Down the skyline, looking out towards the Blue Mountains there. Where's the road go? There it is. Oh, always scary down through there.
Yeah.
Through the dipper. Pulls third early once again just to reduce the wheel spin. So much torque in these cars. Oh, hear the crackle, see the flames. Down on the Conrod. This is fantastic stuff. I think I've had too much Coke. Alright, what are we going to peak out down here? 6th gear, up over the first hump. 287, 290, 290. It's pretty good going.
You'd probably have a bit of engine damage as well. They do get a bit of engine wear.
Yes, they do, don't they? And they're pushing them hard. Interesting how people are taking third gear through there these days. Just rolling the car through. There we go. Nice lap from Cirrus. What's he do? Bit slower that one. It's probably because he's got all us sitting in the car a bit heavier.
Yeah, it's all the coke. Oh, he's just had a little bit of a tank slapper almost there, so he's got control of that car and he's off again. Still on the chase though.
Still in the chase. And you see he's got a bit of a bent wing. We should leave him alone before we ruin his race. But interesting, we're getting to that point now. 5 laps to go in this session. What are people going to do? Are they going to come and pit and fuel it up? When are they going to come and pit? How are they going to handle the car if it gets fueled for these last... if they do fill it right to the top in these last few laps?
Actually, I'll put the speedo back on because obviously all the viewers want to know the fuel levels here at the moment, because as we are talking, as you said, is there going to be this flashing dust? How much fuel they're going to put in? We need the fuel levels because we got to note them down, because that's the fuel level they will start the next session on the last lap. So when they go to take the last lap, we check their fuel levels, and that's the level that they will be filling up for the start of session 2.
So 5 laps to go. If Commander Jim just keeps it on the track, I don't think he's going to lose a lap. I think he'll stay there. Because what's that? That's roughly 20 seconds. I'm going to hazard a guess. Commander Jim just goes across the line now. About 20 seconds to Highlander. So I think might be one of the first times we ever start the second session with everyone on the lead lap.
Yeah, other than obviously the early disconnect of Dark Lord, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was a shame, wasn't it? What could have been? Anyway, he's still in the race. Anything can happen in session 2. Even just to get out there and be part of it. It's always fun just to be part of the race. I enjoy getting
Don't
out
forget, we got the red aces as well. So if he wants to join in too, they will actually start on the same lap together.
Yeah.
The 3 laps down.
Have a battle between themselves. Right. Commander Jim. Oh, they love grabbing that curve there, don't they, on the inside?
Yeah, don't forget though also with I was going to say we've got Knight Havoc, who's obviously been a little bit faster than Commander Jim in the V8 Supercars throughout this championship. So as long as he's on the lead lap, he'll be at the back of the P7 in the train, and it's like a safety car restart. He's going to see the leader in front of him. He's going to be behind that queue, so anything can still happen. With obviously Knight Havoc behind the wheel of this number 13 car.
That's exactly right. Now, I've got a question for you to do with the Teams Championship. Now, with the team running both drivers in one car, and then we've got another team, the team leading the Teams Championship, having 2 cars out on track. These guys here, 5 points behind. How does that play out? Do they get double points for where they finish?
Yes, they do. So if you only entered the one car in the team, you will only get the one. You'll get the double points, sorry. Perfect example is obviously these guys, Commander Jim and Knight Havoc. They'll get whatever points they get. They'll get double points for the teams because there's no second Sapnell car. But myself, Whopper, and myself, Woody Lizard, we're teammates in the championship. Both Whopper's normally in the 78 Alimat car. And as we know, we have Dark Lord in 78, so we need Dark Lord to actually enter that race because we won't get double points because we've got the 2 team cars on the grid. So we'll get our points that we finish towards the team's championship plus the position that Dark Lord finishes.
Okay, and there's just 41.5 points between yourself, the Armagnac team, and the Besmoine Pace Motorsports team. And that's for 3rd in the championship. Teams.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the big one here. So Rat Pigeon and Dark Racing 40 are teammates. So and they're in the 1 car. So they will be getting double points as well on their position that they finish for the team championship. That is. Drivers, they get the same points. So they'll get whatever points they get. They both get those points towards their drivers championship.
Yeah. Excellent. Thanks for clearing that up. All right, here we go. 3 laps to go. Is this where we start to see someone come into the pits? No, how's it going to play out? And in the meantime, maybe Highlander. Yeah, Highlander, I think maybe just easing off a little bit. 2:04 that lap. Rat Pigeon closed in. It was 13 seconds, down to 9 seconds. And Commander Sirius, as you say, still 5 seconds, still holding that gap there to Pigeon. Posed up a little bit on Highlander as well. Theological Sports, 44 seconds back. Devil X is a 1 minute behind. Whopper, only 8 seconds behind him. Commander Jim, doing well. He's only 11 seconds behind Whopper. So, holding it together quite well.
Yeah, so you've got to remember that, will Commander Jim do it, splash and dash? He's going to be low on fuel. I'd say that he will put at least some sort of fuel in there. Knowing that even if he falls that lap down on this session, he will get that wave around. And Knight Havoc will be able to start on his lead lap. But Whopper, we know he's going as planned. So it's going to leave it fairly tight on fuel numbers for this second session, but we'll see if we can manage just the 1 stop in the second session. But so basically all the other guys are still going to need to do a splash and dash. You've got 10 litres for Devil. He won't even finish the race at this rate.
No.
Illogical Sports could get to the end, but obviously he wants to put himself in his best position possible and probably fill it up and have a full tank ready for the second session.
Yes.
As the championship's on the line for him. 9 litres for Stips, well, he'll get home no dramas, but will be very low on fuel.
Yes.
Rat Pigeon again, he'll get home no dramas in this session. And look at this, he's 0.05 seconds up in that first sector. But we'll just pick up on Highlander's fuel. So he's 19.5 again. And I was alluding earlier back to him and Simo Racing 4. They've been the architects of knowing the fuel strategy since we've been doing the fuel back in the Daytona 24. They basically work backwards in fuel numbers. So they look at it and say, well, we're going to need X amount of fuel to get to the end.
Pushing hard. Tyres are gone on these guys. Sorry to interrupt, Woody. Last two entries there.
That's it. He was gone, so he's dropped a bit of time there, so he won't get his fastest lap at all. Yeah, they basically work backwards for the fuel, getting back to the fuel strategies there, and they work on how much fuel they're going to need for their last stop, and then they work back from there, and they just do their stops as required.
Yep. Oh, almost sounds like Triple Eight racing strategies, doesn't it? Highly professional. Yeah, but I think the tyres are gone on these cars, these two here, as we've seen going back into Forest Elbow. Sato Highlander. Didn't mean to insult you, Highlander. Highlander just managing the time now, I think. Lap 39, so 2 laps to go. Just trying to creep the car around. And, yeah, I don't know. What do you do? Because if they pit... So how long to, you say, 40-second pit stop, how long to traverse pit lane?
Yeah,
about a minute.
I'm not too sure, but
he
when you
pits
say
now...
that's to fill it right up with tyres. So if they won't put any tyres on, they'll just be fuel only.
Right. So pits now,
probably a minute.
That'll put a logical pretty close to starting the next session in first. So... interesting how this is all playing out now. Are we seeing this here for those of you that just like watching motorsport and watching cars battle and pass on track? Yeah, it probably hasn't quite been that sort of race for you, but for those interested in the technical side, we're getting into this point now. Where do you pit? When do you pit? Because if you don't pit now and you've got 15 litres in your car, you're going to start the next session and in 2 laps you're going to pit. And that's going to put you behind a huge group of cars. So,
that's right.
Yeah. I just love it.
So the thing will be, how much fuel will Highlander actually put in? I 100% he's going to pit this lap.
Another question that would raise for me, and me being the technical type of driver that I am, could you pit on the last lap and then cross the finish line in the pits and have a count?
Well, the thing depends where you pit bays. You might cross the start finish line before you get in the bay, so it wouldn't work that way. The race would be over.
Yeah, but if you're up there...
So Pigeon has closed that gap up, hasn't he? Hugely. Yeah. 2 seconds.
Hitting 2. Who's next in line? Cirrus in.
And Cirrus, they're all in. So we'll keep an eye on here as they filter out.
So Pigeon could get this because he had 25 litres left, so he's not going to take as long to fill. And how much did Cirrus have? We didn't quite see. Here comes a logical.
He's got 25.
So I think Pigeon
might should be the first one out. Maybe.
I don't know. I think Pigeon might steal it. Highlander only had 10. Of course, it depends how much they put in. Well, there we go. So 99.
100. We'll say 100 litres to be safe. So who's the next person going to come out? Who's moving? Pigeon. He's got 112.
Definitely seems closer. And who's that in the background? Logical Sports in.
So Commander Cirrus should be the next bloke out. He's got 112.
So he's filled it. He's gone to the top. Here's a chance for some of these guys. Oh no, they're not quite gonna jump them. These back guys. That can't be right.
So Devil's in, so here comes Whopper. Whopper's coming around, he's staying out.
So he's jumped a couple of spots.
He's got
Devil X. He had half a litre of fuel left. If I saw that correctly.
So we've got Whopper there, Logical Sports. Is he coming out? Who's out now?
Yeah, and who's that in? Jim.
Here comes Devil. So Whopper's out.
Whopper's out.
Logical Sports, so he got 112 as well.
Yep.
Devil X is in. sorry for the people watching. We just need to write down these figures because it's very important for the second session to know what fuel levels that everyone's on. So he's 80 litres for Devil, is that correct?
85. 85.
85. We'll go 86 because we always go up to 1. 86. And Commander Jim, when he leaves, he's got a full tank, 112. There we go. So back to the race now. So it looks like Highlander's still in front.
By 3
Whopper's
seconds.
Jumped up into 4th position after being in 6th before those pit stops. But again, he's got 73 litres to fuel. But it looks like this man here, Highlander and Dado Racer, are going to take the safety car in the lead. Here, lap 40 of 40, but we've got, as I said, second session, so we'll say now 40 of 81 laps. So here we come. So well done to the team Mondeline car, the Mondeline team car.
Yes.
Of Highlander and Dado Racer. That's part 1 done for those guys. And then Rat Pigeon and Dark Racing 40 in second at this stage.
In second.
What a drive by this man, Commander Cirrus in third.
In third.
And where did he start? He started in 6th, I think, or 7th, I think. So he's done a great job.
Yep.
Whopper, again, happy with that. As me being a team driver, I'm happy with that. We started in 4th, finished in 4th. We
looks pretty clean too.
Yeah, we have a fuel strategy there in place. It looks like it's going to hit the numbers. Illogical Sports. Just behind his, what would you say, nemesis, or myself been chasing him in the championship.
Yeah,
you could say we've got 1 up on him. His rival at the moment. We've got 1 up on him.
Yes, 1 up. That's it. You just got to maintain that. Looking forward to that. Devil X. Oh, what could have been for him today?
Yeah, definitely, but he's got pace. So on the lead lap 2, so that's exactly what he wanted to do in 6th position. And Commander Jim, as we can see, he ended up staying on the lead lap. So great drive by Commander Jim.
Yes.
And he's also handing the car back to Night Havoc with, I believe let's have a full tank, 112 litres he'll have.
Yep.
So there you go.
Fantastic. What a great race that was, hey.
That was sensational. We've got that strategy there, so we'll just quickly go through with how they're going to start. So Highlander is going to give that car. They're going to have that pit stop during the safety car, and Dado's getting in that car. And he'll have 100 litres to start session 2. Rat Pigeon, he's now handing it over to Dark Racing 40 in second position, and they'll have 112 litres of fuel. Commander Cirrus, he's a solo entry. He's double stinting, so he's in third, and he starts with 112 litres. Whopper hands over to myself, Woody Lizard, and we'll have 73 litres on board. So that's the lowest amount of fuel out of all the runners. Illogical Sports double stinting in the number 2 Vazmac car in 5th position will have 112 litres. Devil X solo driving as well. He'll have 86 litres of fuel, and Commander Jim swapping over to Night Havoc, who will have 112 litres as well in 7th position. So that pretty much wraps it up, doesn't it, at this stage?
Yeah, for the moment, some great drives there, some tactical drives, and some fast drives. Devil X, I don't call him Stato Jr., takes a new lap record at Bathurst Mount Panorama 2022. Great lap for him, and we were on board to see that too. That was something special. And
what was that time?
A 2-minute .569.
Unbelievable time that was from Devil. So at least he's taken something away from that session, and all the competitors will be really being mindful that he has got pace. So watch out, I'd say, for session 2. So that thing should wrap things up. We've got a few things to do. We'll be back in about an hour. You'll have Night Pegasus in your ears, and that's once again you're the Mr. V8 commentator. You're Neil Crompton of V8 Supercars here at ANZCRL Combined Racing League. It's, you may have the option to maybe having Highlander hopefully helping you out as well. So we'll see what we can manage. But until then, guys,
Yep.
I've been on board with Night Pegasus, Woody Lizard, ANZ Combined Racing League. Hope you enjoyed this stream, and enjoy your little hour break, and we'll be back on your screens very shortly.
Okay, see you later.
See ya.
Oh, I get to. I'm the one controlling it.